Okay, this is my English project. I would have made a video, but I didn't really have time and I don't have drones, so I can't really make a video about it. But I know a lot about drones, but I'm just gonna kinda talk and I'm just gonna try and do this in one take, so it's not gonna take a long time and be hard to make this, even though I could do that. But so let's start with our first subject of what you need to get started. So the first thing you need, well, like this is everything you need, like you have to fly a drone in order for it to work right. And just going off these things that I'm gonna say next, this is how to build a quadcopter. So one of the first things it says here is you need 4 motors. But if you had like a hexacopter with 6 arms, then you need 6 motors. But I'm just gonna say with a quadcopter because those are the most popular drones. So you're gonna need 4 motors for each arm, um, props for the 4 motors so it can actually like fly. 4 electronic speed controllers, those determine how much power goes to each motor. A flight controller, that's like a little computer thing where you plug the ESCs into it and it knows where the front motors are and the back ones are, and it determines how much power goes to each one. It kind of controls the ESCs. And then you need a receiver. A receiver receives the signals from the remote, like so it knows what to do, and it gives that information to the flight controller. And then you're obviously going to need a battery to power it and a transmitter, which is just a fancy word for a remote. And then different kinds of drones. So there's a bunch of different kinds of drones. There's quadcopters with like 4 propellers. There's hexacopters with 6 propellers. There's octocopters with 8 propellers on 8 different arms. And basically, the different uses for those is just like how professional you are. So, like in the world of like filming with a drone, a quadcopter is like the cheaper, more beginner way to go. But then you get like a hexacopter, and that's a little more professional. It's more stable because it has uh, 6 arms or like 6 points of access pulling it up into the air. And then an octocopter is like super professional. Like they make movies with those things because they're basically like a ring of power pulling it up, and it's just like super balanced. And then some of the uses for drones is obviously like filming. That's like the most popular thing. Uh, Lots of people have drones just to like film all their cool stuff that they see from the air, but they can also be used for like real world situations and stuff. I saw an article and like they had the police using them on like manhunts. So they'd like fly the drone up and find him so that they could go in and like capture the person. Um, so then that's obviously safer because you don't have to send in a person that could get injured. But if a drone gets like shot down, then oh well, you just buy a new one or fix it and you don't cost a life. And also, firemen can use them. Uh, DJI has a camera you can get now, and it's a thermal imaging camera that you put on your drone. And so basically, like firemen can fly it over buildings, and they can see where the heat is in the building, so they can go like make a plan on how to fight it best, and like see where it's hottest so they know where to spray the water first. And also, I saw DJI just recently came out with like this big like I think it's a hexacopter or an octocopter, and they use it for like farming. So they have like this like 3-liter tank on the bottom with like sprayers on it, and um it can go out and like fertilize things and water your crops. And I don't think that's really going to take off too well because it's probably still more expensive than a tractor, but it's still pretty awesome. And oh, also with the thermal imaging camera on a drone, they can also use that for agriculture. I saw a video where they were like flying it over blueberry plants, and they could apparently like see the temperature in the plants and stuff, and like see if they are getting proper nutrients and stuff. Yeah, so that's kind of awesome. And then the last question is, are they good or bad? I think drones are mainly good. Some people use them to be creepy and spy on people, but most people don't really do that. Most people are pretty responsible. Some people think someone is stalking them and totally flip out when they really weren't. That's kind of like, okay, calm down, because the chances that someone is doing that to you are really low, and not a lot of people do that. But they're mostly good because they can do a lot of good things, like uh, aerial filming, which is obviously beautiful and helps so many ways in like producing videos. But they can also actually be used for straight up good things. They can be used by the police to find criminals without having to send actual people in. Firefighters can put thermal imaging cameras on them to check out buildings and see where the fire is. And the army uses them too, but they're like jet powered plane drones. But uh, those are still safer and they do good things, kind of. I mean, war isn't a good thing, but they're making it safer for us, at least. Um, but I think the good of drones usually outweighs the bad. So those are my thoughts on drones, and hopefully that gives you some insight on how to determine and know stuff about drones. So, yeah.